This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Grainger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Baker's, where you'll find over 30,000 mouth-watering choices that excite your inner foodie. And no matter what tasty choice you make, you'll enjoy our everyday low prices, plus extra ways to save, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week. You can also save up to $1 off per gallon at the pump with fuel points. More savings and more inspiring flavors make shopping Baker's worth it every time. Baker's, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
This is a podcast from Minute Media.
Hashtag no music, no intro. Feel like it's been a while, but it hasn't really been that long. We have another episode coming at you. Hashtag Saints for Podcast. And I'm excited about this episode. I wish I had prepared a little more. Ryan and I are doing I don't even know what you want to call it. Like, basically, if myself or Ryan were the GM of the Saints, we were Mickey Loomis, we were whoever's making decisions in the Saints, Dennis Allen, what we would do in this offseason to put out the best team on the field. So we're going to talk about free agency. We're going to talk about the draft. I wish I had plans of having outline and everything written down. Man, I didn't work for 4 days. I got a 4-day weekend. I went into work today and I had 16 missed calls and five voicemails, bro. Just didn't have enough time to do what I needed to do. But obviously that's my primary job. That's my focus. So obviously that's always going to get my most attention. But before we really get into our dream off season and what we would do if we ran the Saints, I wanted to kind of do a quick recap of some news that's happened a little bit. First thing I want to start with Dennis Allen adding Cody Burns, as their new wide receivers coach. He replaces Curtis Johnson. He was the wide receivers coach at Tennessee. Before he was at Tennessee, he was at Auburn. It's hard to know exactly how this hire is going to work out, but I do think that in terms of us wanting spice and some juice, this does do that to a degree in getting a new set of eyes.
Look, just a little cayenne pepper, man. You just sprinkle a little cayenne in there. You don't even know if it needs it, but you just like. But yeah, who knows? We have no idea. We have no idea if he's a good wide receiver coach. No clue. He played for Auburn. He played with Cam Newton, actually. It's kind of crazy.
That's wild, bro.
Cam Newton was at Auburn. Now he's a wide receivers coach.
So there's an upcoming wide receiver in this draft. He was actually at the Senior Bowl. I don't know if you remember him. I don't know if we paid a lot of attention to him, but it's I believe it's pronounced Velez Jones Jr. He, Cody Burns coached him at Tennessee. He's kind of sneakily quote unquote rising up draft boards, whatever that means.
I've seen it.
I reached out to our fellow Tennessee Titans fan as well as University of Tennessee fan, S. Morton on Twitter, kind of just getting the feel for Cody Burns. And he said that basically he felt as a fan that the Tennessee wide receivers, even though he was only there 1 year, took a step with his coaching, with him being there. So that's great news, right? I think we can all say that. It is.
It's something to take away, yeah.
And I also think that, you can maybe say hey, this person worked with Jones Jr. extensively at Tennessee. If there's a later round pick that the Saints want to use at wide receiver, having his former wide receivers coach, who coached him at college, good connection. He also coached, like you said, at Auburn. He coached Anthony Schwartz, who the Browns drafted like in the second or third round recently.
Yeah.
Hasn't done really anything, but so he kind of has like that, I guess you could say like that pedigree in coaching talent. We'll see how it translates. And then something that Nick Underhill tweeted in regards to his reporting, he tweeted that sounds like the Saints are interested in Alabama's director of sports performance, David Ballou, and director of sports science, Matt Ray.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
Again, like who knows? I talked to an Alabama fan. He said those dudes were like real integral in like changing the program up at Alabama after things got a little stale, and which is crazy because you just think Alabama like, well, they've been winning, but even them, they get stale, and they revitalized some things a few years ago, changing up, not only the science side, the sports science side, but the the training, keeping players fresh. Alabama was always known for running down players, so I think they got like they brought in just some fresh eyes to kind of keep players fresh throughout the season and stuff like that. And so it's interesting. I don't know what to think about it really. It's just interesting that Dennis Allen has his eye on that, as if that's something that he really wanted to kind of just change up, because I don't know what to think about how, Saints strength and conditioning, how it's been, but it seems like we get these injuries that flare up and it like hits everybody. Like, and it'd be like the same injury, and it's like, you just wonder like, what is going on? Who knows if this has anything to do with that? It's just some real insider football stuff that's like real important inside the building, but like as fans, we don't really know much about it. Like, what the hell does that mean? But it's good to see that, Dennis Allen at least is he's looking at the whole organization as a whole, not just the X's and O's, but like how we do everything. Like, how do we do everything? And he's trying to put his little fingerprints on it, for the most part.
Yeah, absolutely. And we don't know, right? So them being interested in them and them hiring them to the Saints are two totally different things. But we don't know what's going to come of that situation. But it is good to kind of see, I guess, DA, like you said it well, putting his touches on things and adding a little flair to things. It was first reported by Underhill, and then I think Jeremy Fowler of ESPN said that the plan for defensive coordinator doesn't sound like there's going to be an external defensive coordinator being hired for that position, and that potentially they're going to split co-defensive coordinator with Ryan Nielsen and Chris Richard.
Yeah, I mean, I have no idea how that works. I know, like, Brian Flores, didn't he have like co-offensive coordinators or something like that?
He did this past season at Miami for the Dolphins.
And I think DA might still call plays, defensive plays. So, all that stuff is like insider football stuff. It helps. Sometimes it helps the coaches out. Sometimes they get a little pay raise with it. It gives them like a little, extra name, title on their tag. So
yeah, man, it's a title change.
It's a title change. So as far as like seeking jobs, that helps. So it's a good. I think it was, it was just him. The Saints kind of looking out for them after they dipped their toe into the external water as far as looking for other DCs. Kind of like just giving a shout out to them is, they've been here for a while. Ryan Nielsen's been here for a while. Chris Richard came last year, did a really good job. Lattimore probably had one of his better seasons since he's been a rookie.
Yeah, probably his best season since he was a rookie.
Yeah, Marcus Williams had a really good, solid season, real good season. The rookie, Don't Ask Me, had one of the better seasons you could think of from like a third round
rookie quarterback, bro, just thrown in the fire, bro.
So it was like Chris Rashard, as far as I'm concerned, he did a hell of a job, and he's like he got stamps on him. I mean, this dude coached the Legion of Boom. He was, he's stamped. It's not like he's some throwaway name. And Ryan Nielsen, coached up the defensive line, dealing with a lot of injuries and young players and stuff like that. But he got the most out of them. So both of them are deserving, and I guess this was a way to kind of not hurt, because that's what I was worried about. Like, damn, it's fucked up for either one. If you make Ryan Nielsen a DC, it's like Chris Rashard. That's like, yeah, that's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, if you went the other way, that would have been fucked up too.
Yep. Because
Ryan Nielsen just been, doing a great job since he's gotten here. So it's kind of a way to please everybody. So we'll see how that works in the long run.
Yeah. It's what's the weird term, bro? Like splitting the baby? I don't
know. Having your cake, eat it too. I don't know.
I had something I wanted to bring up, and then I lost it. It was gone as soon as it came in. We're not discussing any Aaron Rodgers news. I do want to bring up that I think Jeremy Fowler reported this morning, and then World, that's how I saw it. World tweeted it out that many executives in the NFL believe that Jameis will potentially return to the Saints and kind of be their guy, at least for this upcoming season. Which I guess, again, we don't know if that's going to happen, but it's interesting to hear that if many executives are kind of getting that sense, obviously they're getting that sense from something, whether that's agents, whether that's teams talking, it's out there somewhere. So before we kind of dive into what we would do,
it could have been Jameis people just trying to signal the Saints, like, hey,
yep,
bro, I want to come back. You know what I'm saying? Like, so who knows?
So if that is potentially on the horizon, or in the next couple of weeks with free agency, what will you think about Jameis being back?
Well, I mean, I guess we could kind of save that for our free agency Saints Outlook extravaganza or whatever. I guess that gives a hint.
So let's. I feel like there was something else I want to talk about. Can we just talk about this one quick thing, bro? Just one quick thing. It has nothing to do with the Saints, but it involves the NFC. This smoke about Tom Brady might come back from the shadows and go to the Niners, bro. Can we not? We have had Tom Brady in our lives since I can't remember how long. The only time we didn't have him in our lives is when he tore his ACL, and I'm not wishing injury on the man, but I'm tired of Tom Brady, bro. I'm tired.
I was wearing FUBU, bro. FUBU, and not even like the Fat Albert FUBU, but like original FUBU.
And the fact that he retired, cool. He got all his flowers, yada yada yada. Everyone.
Oh my god.
And to think that he might come back and go play for the Niners, and if he goes to the Niners, bro, that instantaneously puts them in contention as Super Bowl favorites, bro.
Right there. Like, come on, man. Like, what more do you want, bro? What do you need?
I guess he wants to play for his childhood team.
Come on, man.
And I don't even know how that would work, because if he came back, then the Niners would have to give the Bucs compensation for him.
And they would. They'd trade what that compensation to be, but
then here's the question I would ask you, and I get it, right? The Niners have already traded like 2 future first round picks, or maybe 3. I lost count how many it was, to go up and draft Trey Lance. So it's either 2 or 3 off the top of my head. As an organization, and I get it, because if you get Tom Brady, you're putting yourself in the driver's seat to potentially win the Super Bowl. Can you afford? And maybe they, the Niners. Maybe this is just an effect of the Niners saw exactly what the Rams did and fuck those picks, and Les Snead, not Les Snead. Yeah, it is Les Snead, right? I'm not tripping. Les Snead wore the shirt at the ticker tape parade that the Rams had downtown, and maybe Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch said, fuck them picks. We can go get Tom Brady, trade the Bucks a first for Tom Brady. And then you have your window at least for 1 to 2 years. And if you win the Super Bowl in those 1 or 2 years, then that first round pick is worth it. But then it's like, what do you do with Trey Lance? Do you just sit him for a year or two? And you go, this quarterback you gave up so much draft capital for is sitting on the bench for 3 years? Oh.
Yeah, you just sit him again, man. It's like he's on a rookie contract. I mean, it is not like he's like bull rushing his way to the starting job. He played a bit this year, and he was fine. You can see the athleticism and stuff like that, but it was just like it was the same concerns we had with him. Coming out is just like, man, just not a lot, not a lot of history there. You know what I'm saying? It's just not a lot of production. So he definitely needs work. So it's like, I mean, if you can get Tom Brady, it's just an easy answer for me. Like, yeah, you send the first, send the second, whatever you got to do. You don't go overboard. You can't, like, obviously this will be a 1-year rental, so you don't want to just be blowing up the future for him. But you can send a nice pick to Tampa Bay, and Trey Lance just got to sit his ass behind a future Hall of Famer for another year, and by this time, just kind of like Aaron Rodgers did or whatever. And that'll be it. But I mean, they'd pull a trigger. I know, John Lynch, he pulled a trigger in a heartbeat. Kyle Shanahan pulled a trigger in a heartbeat. I just hope it's just all smoke and bullshit,
bruh. Please.
I just don't. I don't want to read about it. Like I tweeted, I'm taking a hiatus from football, bro. Like I don't even want to talk about football for a year. I'm just tired. I'll be tired of it. I don't want to deal with it, man. Like. Talk about something else.
All right, so let's dive into this. Let's dive into this foray of, if we were in charge of those things, we're the GM, we're Dennis Allen. Let's first start with the group of free agents, right? And everyone who's a free agent on the team. So I have it pulled up. That's Sports Track. So I'm going to go down the list. I'm going to name a player. And if we both agree we're going to bring them back, or not bring them back, cool. We maybe not need to give an explanation. But if we differ, then we need to go into it. So the number one player on the list, no surprise, is Teron Armstead.
Yeah.
He go. Yes. If I was the Saints, let me work this back. I'll work this back. Okay. The only way I would bring Teron back would be if they somehow landed a Russell Wilson. That's in my opinion. Because to me, if you get Russell, so you're giving up, you're gonna give up probably 2 first-round picks to get Russell Wilson, maybe 2 first-round picks and a player. But if you get Russell Wilson, your window extends for an additional 3 to 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
I would say if you got a quarterback of that ilk, Russell, like I don't think Aaron Rodgers in play, but on that, I would say then yes, you would bring Teron back, because then you got to go all in, bro. You got to go all in.
Got to go all in.
Whoever got to figure out the numbers. Yes, bring Teron back. But if we're doing a Jameis Winston, blah, blah, even a rookie quarterback, like I know Teron will be a great piece to have for a rookie quarterback coming in, even if that rookie quarterback didn't play the rookie season. They just sat on the bench for what he's gonna cost. And she should, right? He should get every cent and dollar entitled to him. He's 30, pretty much 30 and a half. He's going on 31. This is going to be his last big payday in the NFL. So he's going to be looking to break the bank. And I think if you look at what, I'm slipping my name, the left tackle, Trent Williams got paid last year from the 49ers. Toronto won't Trent Williams money or close to. I just personally don't think you could pay him that with his age, with how many games he's missed, unless you have a Russell Wilson coming back.
And Trent Williams got that, having missed a lot of time dealing with, brain cancer and all kind of stuff, So Teron gonna get paid, bro. Like, we can't go in that water, man. Like, you just gotta let him fly. And I would love to have him back. Teron Armstead, he's like a leader. He's one of the pillars of the locker room. Great character guy and everything, and a really good player when he's on the field. Mm-hmm. But that when he's on the field is like carrying a lot of weight there. Like, you know what I'm saying? The dude missed 8 games this year. I think he missed like 25 plus games with the Saints, and that's just the games. Like, that's not even
that 25. That is almost 2 seasons.
And that's not even counting like damn near like 90% of games I've ever watched is Teron Armstead leaves with injury.
I knew what you were gonna say before you finished it, bro.
90% of every game I watch. Like, when he makes it through a game, it's like, whew, all right, he made it. But even then, like during the week, you're gonna see the injury report. Teron Armstead, hip, knee, back, something. You know what I'm saying? And
so I'm not laughing at Teron's injuries. I'm not. I'm just laughing at the accuracy that it reminds.
I mean, the dude a warrior, man. Like, he's played injured. He's played like hand messed up. You name it. Like, the dude is a fucking warrior, bro. But like, just with the situation the Saints are in, it's just one of those things we just kind of like gotta kind of cut our loss and just kind of hope for the best. Because, just got to wish him well, bro,
I agree. And I mean, we all know what's going to happen. He's going to go to whoever team, Bengals, playoffs, 16 games, all pro season. We're going to get a 3rd round comp pick. It is what it is. So let's go down the list. So I think we're in agreement of Teron. Marcus Williams, bring him back. Figure it out. Just extend him, please.
I agree. Like, make it happen.
Okay, pretty easy one. To me, you have to and I've said it on the pod before, man. With what Trey Hendrickson did, what Trigger Trey did in Cincinnati after the Saints let him walk, and I understand why they let him walk. I get it. Like, to let Trey leave one season and not to extend Marcus, bruh, can't happen. Marcus is still 25. Like, that's wild.
Young, and just been overall consistent, bro. Like, over the season, I know the Minnesota Miracle. I know the San Francisco game. There's been moments where you're like, oh, what the fuck, Marcus? But overall, man, that dude has been a true center fielder, which is hard to find in the NFL today. I mean, they don't produce these guys in college like they used to. And I mean, he got 14 picks over his career, which is like, I think 2nd or 3rd, among safeties drafted since then. I mean, among players, period. Like, overall, since 2017, he's like 2nd or 3rd, 14 picks. I mean, just pillar of consistency, bro. Like, you're not getting beat over the top. He has crazy range. He's only going to get smarter and more intelligent, in the game. He's been healthy, plays, he's, rarely missed like a lot of games. So it's just one of those players you re-sign and you don't even worry about it. Like, you don't even worry. You're going to pay him $12 million a year, whatever. You won't regret it. You'll be fine. Just figure out Kyle Harley just got to figure out how to throw the ghost years on the end or whatever. Just make it happen, man.
I like how you talk about ghost years like they just like just ghost pepper season at this point.
20, maybe paying them in 2033 or whatever. Who cares? Just throw that shit on there.
Yeah. So this is the big one. So this is it again. If you run the Saints, and this question is kind of hard to ask without knowing like what the options are, like what you would do in free agency. But going into free agency, maybe you have your eye on different quarterbacks that you want to make a play for, whatever. But Jameis Winston,
I bring it back, man. Bringing it back, man. Bringing it back, running it back. You know, maybe a 2-year deal. You know, incentive laden. You know, make them feel like we want you here, but you still kind of got to prove yourself or whatever. I just think when you look at just the overall crop of quarterbacks out there, you just stack them all up and you stick Jameis in there, and you also got to just add in, he has other values over the crop that's out there as far as he's been in the system. Saints are going to run the same system. I think what we saw, even though it wasn't perfect, we were able to get a lot out of him as far as like big plays. Yeah, it gives you the big plays and, you know, play the style of quarterback that we would probably need if we're going to be like a defensive-driven team. You know, so we're not going to ask him to throw for, 450 yards a game, which would kind of put him in trouble. So I just think, it just kind of goes with what's been safe, and it's hard to look at Jameis Winston as safe, but I think just with another year in the system, I think he would kind of maximize what you would get. Is it, can Jameis Winston take you to a Super Bowl? Probably not, but you got to just be realistic and look at it as, let's build the best team with the resources we have that can give us a chance. Because look, I mean, if Jameis Winston started this whole season, who knows what would happen, but maybe they probably would have won one more game. I think they would have. I think they would have beat Tennessee. I think they would have maybe beat Atlanta. And they would have been in the playoffs. And once you get in the playoffs, who knows, man? So I think if you just look at it like that, if you give him some weapons, which I think is the big key, you got to give this man some weapons. I think he could be a top 20-ish quarterback for you. If you look at Greg Rosenthal's QB index, over the years, he just lists out where he had like Jameis Winston ranked. It was always somewhere between 25 and 20, Right. So I think we know who Jameis Winston is at this point. And I think with the Saints, we could kind of make him be that, maybe the 18th best quarterback in the league, which doesn't sound great, but you could do much worse than that. And I think everybody else that you would bring in, you're not sure if you could even hit that with them. Because outside of trades for like Russell Wilson and shit like that.
Right. So because then you're looking at the crop of Jimmy Garoppolo. Carson Wentz, which is so funny. Like to me, like Jameis and Carson are like a coin flip.
Yeah, they really are.
Because their highs are real high and their lows are real low.
Really low.
So that it's interesting that just comparison.
But I would say with Wentz, at least people like Jameis.
Yeah, like you said, right. I would. It's weird. Like I agree with you. If I'm the Saints, if you can find a way to bring them back, I think that they should. Even though like the Jameis cult is just weird, man. It's
weird, man. It makes you don't want them. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, just because of them, like you'll be like, no, I don't want him. But I'm just being like just trying to be unbiased, just realistically looking at the crop of players available.
Yeah, I think, like you said, bring him back on a very incentive-laced contract. I think that's fair to him. I think that's fair for the team. Kind of both sides agreeing what they want. Let's go to the next player, PJ Williams.
Man, I want PJ back, man. I feel like PJ is a valuable member of the team. He's not a starter. He's gonna play about 50%. I saw the Sigler tweeted today that they're estimating him to want like $5 to 6 million. I'm like,
per year?
Per year, bro. I'm like, I don't know about a PJ. So I would say this. I would say do like we did this past couple years, man. Let PJ test the market. Just let him test the market, man. I'm willing to let him test the market.
Oh yeah. I would. There are just, and it wouldn't shock me if he signed with another team. I could see him staying in the division, bro. I could see the Falcons signing him. I could see the Cardinals signing, or not the Cardinals, the Panthers signing him. It wouldn't shock me at all for him to get like overpaid somewhere. Because his last 2 years of film, plays he's made. You can't deny it, man. You can't deny it. He has become a ball hawk. He's a great blitzer off the edge from the secondary. He causes fumbles. He just makes plays, bro.
Yeah, man. And Dennis Allen knows, what's the best position for him. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I could see him going to like fucking Carolina or some shit and just getting beat. Just getting beat like a drum and cut by week 4. You know what I'm saying? So it'll be one of them things where we just gotta wait it out. I wouldn't throw big money at him. $5 million a year, a little too rich for me. But I would let him test the market, and if not, if he, I put that contract out. Like, hey, bro, we, if you want to come back,
we here.
Contract waiting for you. $2.5 million. $4 million if you do this, that, and the other, or whatever, and then we good.
I agree. Next one, Ty Montgomery.
Bye. Don't want him on the team.
Because if he's on the team, that means he's stealing some snaps from somebody, bro.
Exactly. I don't want him on the team. I don't want him. I would rather bumfuck rookie from who knows where than Ty Montgomery. I don't want him.
Let's go to Quan. He's the next player on the free agency list. I personally would not bring Quan back.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that not because I love Quan. Love Quan as a player. Him and DeMario, that energy they bring is just infectious. You can feel it. But you drafted a linebacker in the second round, Pete Warner. As down as we were on Pete Warner as a prospect, he played damn well as a rookie. It's kind of that sunken cost, right? We talked about that a lot on the podcast. You invested a second rounder in fucking Pete Warner, bro. You got to be on the field.
Mm-hmm.
And shout out to Quan for coming back from that torn Achilles and how quickly he came back.
Bro,
I think he's put himself in a position where we might not be able to afford him.
That's what I think, man. And I mean, this dude was when we played Green Bay, he was playing like nuts. That's crazy. That's crazy. And he really, he brought speed to the defensive line. I would love to resign him, but I just think he's going to get paid. And I just think where the Saints at right now, they're going to have to let some things slide on the defensive side to help their offense. And at this point, Quan would be more of a luxury. We would love to have him, but
yes, I think you said it perfectly. Quan it's a luxury, man. It's a luxury that we at this point I don't think we can afford him.
Because Pete Werner was good, man. Look,
He was.
y'all can go back and listen to the podcast after the draft. I shitted on Pete Werner.
We all did, bro.
Like it was nothing, man. And I would eat crow. He's not the same player as Quan. You know, he's more of a be in the position he needs to be type of player. But he's good, man. So I think we just got to roll with that, you know, and save that money for something else.
I agree with you 100%. Jeff Heath, nah, bye. Who's going to team? Trevor Siemian. Kind of an interesting one, bro.
Very interesting because, you know, Saints fans gonna hate it because he was like, you know, he led like one of the longest losing streaks in Saints
right
/ Sean Payton history. So it's like it's understandable why Saints fans won't like him. But he was, if you just throw away the losses and just isolate the player, he was a solid backup. Backup.
Yep.
Now it does depend on what we're gonna do. You know, is Taysom Hill gonna be a backup?
Should be.
Do they just or do they just move him into TE / HB, whatever? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. But that's something I think you can improve at the backup position with Simeon. But I just thought, you know, like I'd give him another chance. Like we still there in you know, April, May. They're still out there.
Yeah.
Bring Simeon back.
Yeah. I mean, I think I would bring him back. Like, man, backup quarterback is like a good one's hard to find.
It's hard, man.
And just put it in context, like, yeah, he had those losses, but he also led the Saints and beat the Bucks and came off cold off the bench. And then he did the same thing against the Falcons in the game that the Saints had to win to be viable for the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? So,
and like two of those losses, you know, like the Saints were right there. We just couldn't make a field goal. We could, you know what I'm saying? So those games could have easily been wins, and we'd have been looking at it completely different.
Yes, absolutely. So I would bring back. You know, I don't know if he would take like a bet deal or something like that, but I would absolutely bring him back. So let's go down the list. Jalen Holmes, defensive tackle.
I just don't. I remember making some plays, but I don't. I wouldn't spend any kind of money, put it like that. Like,
correct.
that minimum, you know what I'm saying? Like, whatever.
Yes. Let's go to an intriguing one. Our guy, Traquan.
What's crazy is as bad as we need wide receivers, you would think I would want to keep them, but man, I'm kind of done with the Traquan story. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes,
we've seen him with Drew Brees, we've seen it with with Jameis, you know, Traquan, we've seen him with Taysom Hill. It's just like he is who he is, bro. Like, he's not going to be a guy. He's going to be a 35 to 45 catch a year guy.
Yep.
You know, I don't think he ever be any more than that. You know, what is that worth on the market? Not only that, it's just the inconsistency. I mean, he disappears for like 4 or 5 game stretches. Like, just
inconsistencies, injuries.
It's like, I just rather just move on. You know what I'm saying? Not saying the replacement is going to be, you know, the automatic upgrade, but we got to be able to do better than that. Got to be.
Please. I'll say this. The only way I would bring Traquan back is if he just finds the market terribly fucking cold and he's like, you know, I'll come back for like a 1 year, whatever deal.
Yeah.
That
I bring him back, yeah.
Yeah. But other than that, no, man, y'all, Traquan can kick around.
Because the dude, like, he does catch touchdowns. You know, he does have a knack for making like a great play here and there. So it's not like he's a bum, but he's just very annoying.
Incredibly annoying. Garrett Griffin, tight end.
Bye.
Yeah, I'd probably cut bait with Garrett Griffin as well. But speaking on the same line, Juwan Johnson.
He's what? He's a ERFA. What does that mean? Like the ERFA?
He's an exclusive rights free agent.
So how the fuck does that work?
It's the same thing. It's funny because that's the same thing. No, Deontay Harris is just a restricted free agent.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know the inner workings of an exclusive right free agent.
I try to find a way to keep Juwan Johnson. Oh my God, he's annoying. Don't get me wrong. I know. But I still will find a way because he just was, just he's an athletic raw piece of clay that can give you something. I could see him flourishing down the line. He needs development, man. He needs development. And I would, as struggling as the Saints are for like playmakers, like I just feel like a little bit more investment is worthy. I don't feel you've reached the sunken cost part yet.
Yeah, I mean, he was an undrafted free agent, bro. Like
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So whatever he would cost won't even register on like the salary cap.
Correct.
So bring him back, and see what happens.
I agree with you 100%. Let's go to Big Creek, bro. Big Creek season. Was also the last couple of ones we're talking about are restricted free agent. So he's a restricted free agent.
Carl Granderson, man. Thought he had played a little bad football this year.
Yeah.
Sometimes I might have to sit by the Big Creek, man. Like, theoretically Peyton Turner would be returning. Ooh. Theoretically.
Ooh.
There's a theory, or is it a hypothesis? Hypothetically, Turner will be returning. So I think we got room to kind of, just give space to him and just let old Big Creep go creep somewhere else, man.
I love it. Yeah, I just in the sense of I agree with you. He, like you said, he played some bad football this season. He had some splashes here and there, but like
I didn't see the development as far as like you saw with Trey Hendrickson, like year after year, Trey Hendrickson would be like, okay, but then his health would interrupt. Then he finally had a healthy season, and you're like, okay, but I didn't see the growth with Carl Granderson other than just splash plays here and there.
Yeah. This is a very interesting one. Deontay Harris.
I mean, what's interesting about it?
Interesting in the fact that obviously they're not going to give him like a high tender, right? And it wouldn't shock me at all to see a team maybe come lurk, maybe out of nowhere, and try to offer him a contract that makes the Saints kind of like tug at their collar a little bit.
So would you do like a second round tender?
No, there's I know how the Saints work. They're not putting a second round tender of Deontay Harris. That I just couldn't see it. I don't know if they'll tender him at all.
I don't know, man. Like the dude is a weapon now. He was one of the better wide receivers we had this past season.
I know. I get it.
Win healthy, which is, in bold letters now, win healthy.
Say that about so many players on our team, bro.
But he's dudes like, I look at players like that, I just find a way to keep because they dogs, man. He's got dog mentality. He just, you put the ball in his hand and you let him work I'd bring him back. Second round tender, whatever kind of tender it is, I'll bring it back just to make sure. I think if you second round tender, nobody else will bite. You know?
Oh yeah, if you put a second round tender on him, no one else would bite. I just don't know if the Saints would be willing to put the second round tender on him because of the money attached with the second round tender.
Right. And what's the tender? What's the second round tender at now?
Let's. As someone who's fakely running the Saints, we should know that off the top of our heads. But let's look it up. Here it is. Yeah, I mean, the second round tender is like $3.3 million.
Okay.
One year contract worth a greater of $3.3 million. Or 110% of the player's prior year's base salary. So,
and and that's just based on, that's just to lock him up. They could, extend him after that. Yeah,
in theory, they could put the second round tender on him, make sure that no teams come his way and try to, sniff around him. And then after that, give him a contract extension where it lowers, that $3.3 million.
Right. And you know how the Saints work, bro. Like, I don't know if they have like a different calendar, but like they know when they really have to be under the cap. So like by our math, we'd be like, how the hell are they doing this? Because they're over the cap. But on their calendar, it's like they good. So I think they'll figure out a way. They'll tender him and try to work the numbers out some kind of way to fit him in. Like I said, it's $3 million, bro. Like, come on now, it's, that's nothing in the NFL. You could just make that work to a good punt returner, good kick returner, all pro. He gives you something in the as a wide receiver. He's like the only downfield big play threat.
Only
just kind of make that happen and hope he stays healthy.
Rapid fire on these one. Ethan Greenidge. Remember, he was the one, I think, was he the one that got Drew killed against the Panthers?
Was
I don't remember who that was, bro.
I called him Greenwich. Yeah, I called him Greenwich. Yeah,
but soon as Toronto went out, bro, Brian Burns came around that corner. Like Drew. Ethan Greenidge and Jalen Dalton. Are you bringing any of those back?
Bet minimum.
Okay, so that's the Saints free agents.
Did you miss Rashad Tuttle?
I did. I'm sorry, I did miss Rashad Tuttle, who's a restricted free agent.
That's an interesting one. I don't really know what to think about that because the Saints, they've been at DT, bro. Like,
bro.
So I mean, just off a depth standpoint, they might need to kind of lock him up as an RFA. I don't know. Maybe a third round. I don't know. I don't know how you would work that out. But he's been solid enough to where, okay, we're comfortable with him, playing a lot of snaps, even starting. But even though he's not been, like a great player or anything like that. But, he's young, still kind of up and coming. So, I think I try to bring him back because, I mean, just out of like, we need some bodies there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, period.
Oh, yeah. It is highly needed. Let's flip over to, this is, I guess, maybe the fun part, and let's talk about free agency. Let's talk about free agency, bro. I'll let you start. If you're the GM, how are you approaching free agency? Who are players that you're signing? Who are players that are on the Saints roster that we didn't talk about that maybe you might cut, you want to trade, whatever you want to do? Ryan Wolf, the GM, tell me what you're doing.
All right, this is what I would do, but with a caveat that I'm doing it with the mindset of what like DA and the Saints organization could realistically do. It's not like all the way dream wolf. It's just, try to be realistic here. One thing I would do, first thing, I would call around to see who needs a guard, a right guard. And I saw that what's the fucking guard for San Francisco?
San Francisco.
He's a free. Yes, he's a free agent. He was with the
God.
Lions and he got traded to San Francisco a couple of years ago. Anyway, whatever his name is, he got traded to San Francisco and he was like a bust. It's like a first round pick guard that traded to San Francisco for like a fifth round pick.
He traded
years ago. This was like 2017, I think. He got traded to San Francisco.
Oh, was it Lakeland Tomlinson?
Thompson, yeah.
Okay. That was gonna drive me crazy, bro.
Yeah, he was a bust with the Lions and got traded to San Francisco for like a fifth round pick. Then wound up becoming like a solid player for.
Like he got a contract extension in 2000.
Got an extension, and it might pay him again. It might extend him again this year. I bring him in to replace Ruiz.
Please, bro.
So I'm saying, let's do that and let's send Ruiz somewhere for at most a fifth round pick. I'll take a sixth.
Would you take a seventh?
Conditional. That could turn into a sixth.
Okay.
Right. But you gotta try to sell it. You gotta sell it. Look, this dude was a starting center for years. Trying to play it out of position. He's been healthy. Look at the health. I focus on the health part. The dude is healthy. The dude don't miss no snaps, man. What I'm saying? Sell that very hard and try to get, just get something. Get something. And get him off the team. That's where I start, Then, we got to do our salary cap Olympics. I think, if they want to, they can shave off a good $100 million off the cap, get about $30 million under the cap. We'll see what the cap is because the number could be higher than people expect. So say we got about $30 million in cap. My big splash free agent signing would hopefully be Mike Gesicki. I just paid the man, bro. He's gonna get paid. The Dolphins might keep him.
Yeah, I saw that. What's his name? Cameron Wolf of NFL Network was talking about the Dolphins, because he came from the beat writer for the Dolphins and said that Tua's wanting him back. Gesicki is like one of the few people that's gone to bat for Tua in Miami, which is weird, but it also kind of just shows you the kind of dude that he is.
He got Mike McDaniels there.
But with Mike McDaniels there, that Mike McDaniels, where did he come from? He came from San Francisco. So what if you're tight end in Kyle Shanahan's offense, in terms of what you got to do, at some point, bro, you got to block.
That's true.
Mike Gesicki don't block.
He's a slot. You straight put him in the slot. He's a big wide receiver. That's all
it's like Jimmy Graham a little bit all over again, right? So because he does not block, there's this of are they going to franchise him? Or are they going to let him quit free agency and see blah blah? So I do think he might be able to get out of Miami. Sorry, so I just wanted to just put that caveat because I saw that earlier today.
But yeah, he's my number one on my list. But if he can't, my next on my list would be Dalton Schultz from the Cowboys. He doesn't have the pedigree of a lot of them, but I watched him a lot and he's good, man. Just a good, really good move tight end. He can do it all, can block, can catch.
Gets open and just makes plays, bro.
Just makes plays, man, and he would just. It's exactly what this offense needs. Just exactly. Yes. Might have to overpay him a little bit coming from the Cowboys. They won't. I don't think they're going to pay him. From all signs, it looks like they won't be able to pay him. So you might have to overpay him a bit, but that's fine. You overpaid Cody Fleener. You know what I'm saying? Pay the man, move on, get you a good player in the building. If you can't get him, you got David Njoku, kind of a, boom or bust FA.
Yes.
It's a little risky, but you got to pay him, but you won't have to pay him like crazy because, the stink is on him a little bit. So, you might have to front load a little money, do a little ghost here and there, and you're going to take a risk. It's going to be a risk.
Oh, yeah.
But it's an athletic player that could be on the come up. I mean, Jared Cook, I know everybody hates Jared Cook, but, dude made plays. And early in his career, he was very similar to Njoku. It just took him a while to kind of really become a better player, and he kind of, started flourishing the older he got as he matured. So, it's a way you could kind of cash in. That would just be my third choice if we couldn't snab Gesicki or Dalton Schultz. Also, I would call the Steelers and just see what they want about James Washington. Like, what y'all want, bro?
No, they're not he's a free agent, bro.
Oh, he's a free agent? I didn't see him on the free agent list.
Yeah, he is. So I'm just gonna quickly interject real quick. He's on my list of players for the Saints to sign. He's an unrestricted free agent. He's about 26. I'm offering him 3 years, $90 million contract. You get $3 million a year, and he is exactly what this team needs on offense. So his base out, his yearly cash since he's been in the league, because he was drafted in the second round, hasn't been more than like $1,000. So I think you say, hey, you kind of, and I know that's even overpaying for James Washington. It is, right? It's overpaying for him. But this offense needs a fucking jolt, and he would give them a jolt.
And if he's playing with Jameis, Jameis gonna target him, bro.
Oh yeah,
like Big Ben, arm had died. Big Ben arm died a couple years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like Jameis gonna throw it to James Washington, bro. He gonna throw it to him. And give him a chance. Will he catch it? We'll see. But I like him as a prospect. I think there's a lot there, bro. I really do.
I do too. Sorry. So I didn't steal that, but that's on my list. And since you brought him up, I just wanted to interject that.
Another free agent I look at is James Conner. I just think with Kamara likely to be out 4 to 8 games, we don't know. I just think James Conner just like a good, solid, smart running back. Not real flashy, but kind of reminds me of Pierre Thomas in a lot of ways, where he just breaks tackles, runs hard, good team guy. I think he'd just be a guy that's affordable. I think Spot Track has him like forecast to make about $4 to $5 million for his contract, so he'd be affordable.
It says 5.9, so $6 million.
5.9, it's about $6 million. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. Something that type of money the Saints can figure out. You know what I'm saying? Like throw him $6 million, negotiate something like that.
Man, that would be a great signing. A great signing, because his career arc has been unreal.
Yeah. In
my opinion. Every time I watched him in Pittsburgh, he was just a jag, bro. He just never popped to me. I didn't think he was talented that much at all. And I know Cliff Kingsbury probably isn't the best head coach, but he went to the Cardinals, bro. He just looked like a different player.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, he was the Cardinals' best overall player on the team most of the season.
He was so critical to their, like, when they was going on that run, he was so critical to that. You know what I'm saying? So I think he'd just be a player that could come in and he just kind of fit what we do. And and when AK does come back, you got a nice little 1-2 punch. You know what I'm saying? That'll be dope. And it wouldn't cost a lot. And I think he just fit right in. So that's one player. If we couldn't get him, he's not the same player, but I'd look at Cordell Patterson. Maybe it's just me. Like, just somebody I've been wanting on the team a long time. Like, it is if I was the GM, just somebody I'll bring in, bro. Just a playmaker. Get him the fucking ball. Pete Carmichael, go ahead to use his brain and try to figure out ways to get this dude to make plays, man. Just look at the Falcons this past year. Do what they did. They did a good job. They got the most out of Cordell Patterson since he's been in the league, man.
So I'm just keeping track. So your moves as GM: trade Reese, sign Mike Gesicki. If you can't sign Gesicki, move on to Dalton Schultz. Sign James Washington. Sign James Conner. And also add Cordell Patterson. So is it Cordell Patterson?
It's or.
It's or. Okay, I'm good now. So I was like, damn, nigga, I don't know how much money you think we got.
No, I'm saying a lot of these are or. So it's like Mike Gesicki or Schultz or Joku.
Okay.
It's basically like we need a playmaker in the pass game. So, Washington, Joku, Schultz, Gesicki, like all those are in the basket.
Okay.
Two of those would be great, but if we can just get one, yes, I take it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Same thing with the running backs, John Conner, Cordell Patterson. And also, like I said, we need the RFA Harris, extend Michael Williams, PJ Washington. As far as quarterback, I already said I want Jameis Winston back. If we can't get him back, I bring in Teddy Bridgewater. I know Saints fans, like I was as annoyed as you with Teddy Bridgewater, but I think if for some reason, say the Steelers, which they have been connected to Jameis Winston a lot this past week, if they steal him away, I wouldn't be mad at bringing Teddy Bridgewater back because he's just that. He's been in the system. He could run. Pete Carmichael could bring him in. Doesn't have to teach him the scheme or nothing like that. He knows the scheme. He knows what to run. You put some weapons around him. Teddy Bridgewater is one of those quarterbacks that's as good as the scheme around him as long as you protect him. And he's good with good defense and stuff like that. No, it wouldn't be flashy. It's not the the present you want for Christmas, but I think it'd be you could do worse. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So that would be my second option behind Jameis.
Okay. So with me, I'm gonna agree with you. I want Reese off the team, bro. Just give him the fuck off the team.
Let's get him out of here, man.
Trade him, cut him. He shouldn't be on the roster by the time the draft rolls around, bro. Second thing I do is this is me as a GM. I'm letting Malcolm Jenkins go, making him a June 1st casualty. I'm taking CD and I'm moving him strong safety. One of the biggest decisions I think the Saints have to make is what the hell they do with Bradley Roby. Because if I'm as a GM, if I'm cutting Jenkins and I'm moving CD Deuce to strong safety, which I think is his best position, then that kind of forced my hand to keep Bradley Roby on the roster for I believe it's like a $10 million, number in terms of salary. I know they could cut corners, but I personally, that's what I would do if I'm the GM. Thank you for your service, Malcolm Jenkins. Really appreciate it. Much love to you. Ohio State, blah, blah. Get the fuck out the door. CD, go to strong safety. I'm keeping Bradley Roby, so at least you don't have a complete fucking hole at slot corner. After that, my number one free agent acquisition, we've already talked about it. He's the guy, Mike Gesicki. If you can't get Gesicki, I'm all in on Gesicki and the price tag that he would come with. I don't know how I like Dalton Schultz, but he's going to come with a hefty price tag too. Don't know how I feel about Dalton Schultz at that price tag, although I would understand it. So the two moves I would do is I already talked about James Washington. Another under the radar move I would do, and I don't know, I think his market would be very interesting. I'm calling up James Washington. I'm also calling up the agent for Christian Kirk, who at times was cooking with Kyler Murray. He kind of shows himself to be a dang good number 2 wide receiver. Because so then I'm looking at the board, right? Looking at my depth chart. I know we're supposed to pretend that Mike Thomas is on the team, but I'm saying, okay, Mike comes back, he's healthy. All right, I got Christian Kirk as number 2. Can throw in James Washington as a 3. Can use Deontay Harris in some plays, bring him back. And then you got Callaway, who also can, you have him as depth and also could be a, 3 interchangeably. Right there, you got enough to work around with something, bro. Like
you're cooking.
You can cook with that. And that's at that point, I haven't even touched the draft yet, bro. This is just free agency. Because I think I'm trying to find, I'm on Sports Track right now. Because sometimes for some of the players they have, what the market value is for them, and then other players they don't. So I'm trying to see what the market value would potentially be for Christian Kirk. So okay, found it. Okay, don't know if I'm going to pay Christian Kirk $11.8 a year, which is $12.8.
Yeah, I saw that.
Can't do it, bro. Can't do it. So give me Mike Gesicki, give me James Washington, and then maybe I got.
What are your thoughts on Allen Robinson?
I think this. It would be great. I would rather have Mike Gesicki because I'm saying this because of it's mostly being Sean's offense is still going to be in place. I think a dynamic tight end opens up a lot more in the offense than because we've never had like a Mike Thomas and an Allen Robinson at the same time, bro. We haven't had that. But I think a tight end is more essential because it affects the linebackers. It's their, the out and up, the Jimmy Graham route that he used to run, and you could dust that off. I just think it affects the defense more when you have a dynamic tight end in this offense. That's just me personally. Plus, like Allen Robinson's average salary is projected to be like $17 million a year. No, bro. So really? If I can't get Christian Kirk, I'm for sure going after James Washington. And then I probably wouldn't go after any other wide receiver if I think you get James Washington. He's a good solid 3. You have Mike Thomas back. I'm going, so if I'm trading or cutting 51 on the team, I got to replace that guard. A couple of guards, I've said it before, if you follow our dude, John Shipley, who covers the Jags, they got like a plethora of like offensive linemen that are coming up in free agency. And I guess like, oh, it's a Jag, blah, blah. Like they have, at this point, bro, we just need salvageable, like decent guards. Like that's it.
Average is fine.
Bro, I'm looking, I'm trying to get AJ Can. Can I sign AJ Can?
Yeah.
Like if I can, I'm signing him. I'm looking at you brought up Laken Tomlinson earlier, which it's funny because he's actually a free agent, just like we said earlier.
Yeah.
I don't know how much he would cost. Can I get Laken Tomlinson? Like just someone. If not, maybe you just put Throckmorton over there. And I've said this before, one of the more bigger injuries that kind of affected the season is we didn't get to see Magdalene and Young because he got hurt, but I think he could have played a factor into like that guard scenario. And like maybe Landon Young could play guard. So
yeah.
I've signed Mike Gesicki. I signed AJ Can or a guard. I signed James Washington. Doing pretty good right there. This is just a completely like I'm exploring. So I'm exploring. I would lightly put Marcus Davenport on the market just to see what a team would buy. That's just me. I get, and I'm not saying I would trade him, but I would say, hey, Seattle, like if y'all wanted Marcus Davenport, like what would it cost? What would you give me? Because he's a player that scares me in terms of extending.
Yeah, he does.
Like, is he likely to be? Because he's going to play on a this is his upcoming contract year. Is he going to play on a contract year? He is. He might ball out, and we might not, at that point we may not have a choice. But he is just a player that scares me tremendously in terms of extending him. I would quietly put him on the trade market. Not saying I would trade him, but I would be curious to see what the Saints potentially could get back in return for Marcus Davenport. Because if a team came around and said, we give you a second for Marcus Davenport, at that point in this draft, bro, it's deep in edge. They think you gotta listen. I
think you do. Depending on if it's a second, it would depend on the team. If it's a second, I wouldn't want a low second round pick, like in the like 50s or 60s or whatever. But if it's like a top 40, you got to consider that, bro. Like you got to consider it, man. Like just with the depth of this draft on the defensive line, you got the hypothetical Peyton Turner, you got Cam Jordan. You just really have to consider it because at the end of the day, he's playing on his last year of his contract, so there's no guarantee he's going to be on a team next year. No guarantee.
I don't know if Seattle has their second, bruh. But and just let's back up and pretend we're Seattle, right? We have the second round pick. We traded. We fucked up, in regards to the whole situation with Jamal Adams. Completely botched that trade. But if you say like, hey, we got the second round pick, is there a player in the second round that might be better than what we can get for Marcus Davenport right now? You know how teams are; they could convince themselves that Marcus Davenport is better than the player they could have in the second round. I'm just saying that's something I would think about. I wouldn't say you just have to move him, but that's something I would think about.
Right, absolutely.
Since I can't have Christian Kirk, I know he is the most annoying player in the league. I'm bringing in Will Fuller. I'm sorry. I'm bringing him in.
Bro, I swear to God, I thought about it, bro, because if you can afford to get Will Fuller.
And they probably could, bro.
You can afford to bring him in. He's not going to play for about 6 games. You just cross that off the list. He's not going to play about 6 games. But he brings something to the table, bro. So it's like
I'll say it, bro. Now I would break like he made basically he signed a 1-year $10 million contract last season with the Dolphins. That's NFT stealing right there. So he not like he had like the personal issue, then he like had the finger. Like he's not getting $10 million this year, bro. Like NFL done caught up to this fucking Ponzi scheme this nigga pulling. But I think you could get him at a decent contract. Like bring him in, because then you have, in theory, you got Mike Thomas, you got James Washington, you got Will Fuller, you got Deontay Harris. Bro, you got speed. With those last 3 I just said.
Hey, we didn't even get to the draft yet.
I ain't touched it once, bro. These are just little bitty, minute things that they could do that could help them long term in the off season. So this is a long episode, so we're gonna make this part shorter. So now we're at the draft, right? Give me who you want to draft. Like give me your draft. Not first, like just first round. Give me your draft. Who's your pick? Or give me 3 players. Give me 3 players, like in terms of stacking them, that you would want the Saints to draft.
Well, with what I did in free agency, say I got Mike Gesicki and James Conner. Say those are the two big moves I made. I would still go wide receiver in the first round. It would either be Drake London or Chris Olave. Those would be those two would be my top two. I think Treylon Burke will be gone. I would like Treylon. I think so. I would like him. The offensive coaching staff just worries me with him. You know what I'm saying?
I get it.
Like if Sean Payton was here, maybe I'd be like, oh yeah, but I just don't know. Like he's gonna need some coaching. He's gonna need some imagination, to use him. Because I really like Treylon Burke, but he's gonna, it's just gonna take somebody with imagination.
Where's the little Burke though?
Right. Oh yeah, and he could be, he's gonna need like some tough love too, like as far as like staying in shape and shit. If not that, I like in my list, I didn't sign a guard in my free agency. I hate to take a first round guard after the whole Ruiz situation, but if there's somebody there, like or tackle, I would not hate getting a left tackle or right tackle in the first round. I just wouldn't hate it. I'm not saying I want to do it, but that's the option that'll be there. Other than that, as far as quarterback, we have no idea how it's going to play out. I don't think the quarterbacks that I like Malik, I don't think they're going to be there at 18. But you don't know. You never know. If Malik slips past the top 10 and gets into the teens,
that's our call.
I do think the Saints got to make a move. I think the Saints got to make a move. If it takes trading the future first to get up there, they got to go up there and get him, man. Let him sit behind James for a year, which even he said, like Malik Willis has said, he knows he needs to sit for a little while and learn the game and stuff like that. So
self-awareness, man.
So it's like I would gladly trade up, bring him in, and let him sit for a year, and and just keep building, man. Like just build the team up to where when he comes in, all he gotta do is be like a little point guard, man. Just
that's it.
Like just conduct it, drive the train, don't crash it. And let the team bring you where you need to be while you build your skill set and become a better player. So, like I said, Drake London, Chris Olave, Treylon Burke, and if Malik slips, move up for him.
I'm with it. I didn't address this in my free agency part. I meant to address it. 2 players I would have my eye out. Former Saints. I'm looking at Al Woods. I'm looking at Sheldon Rankins, bro.
Sheldon Rankins out there, bro. Sheldon back, man.
Oh, is this? I don't remember. Rankins might be on there. Might not be on there. It might be Sheldon Richardson. I'm sorry. Sorry.
I used to like him.
So I'm looking at Al Woods. Every time I watch whatever team Al Woods is on, bro, it don't matter.
Al Woods making a play, bro.
Every time, bro, it never fails. It's wild.
Look at Al Woods, man.
Bring the Saints legend home, bro. And I'm just looking at just what he made this year at defensive tackle. Bro, Al Woods made $2.5 million.
That's been his whole career, man. Like he's been living on that vet minimum, man. Like just take it.
And like we already
a career out of it.
That's wow. And we know we've talked about how kind of the depth at defensive line, especially defensive tackle, is just it's been bad. I think he kind of you signed him. I'm not saying that the position is solved, but at least you got a good to great run stuffer. He offers you a little bit of pass rush. Like that's something. Anyway, let's get to the draft. this is a long episode. I know. I knew it was going to be a long one. I apologize to the folks, but it is where it is. This is our off season, so deal with it. I'm at the draft. My order is this. My number one player on my board is Malik Willis. My number 2 player is Jamison Williams. My number 3 player is Kenny Pickett. My number 4 player is Chris Olave. I'm in the mindset that if Jamison Williams is there at 18, the Saints should, without question, draft him no matter what, unless one of the quarterbacks are there in Willis and Kenny Pickett. I know Jamison on my list is higher, but the value of Kenny Pickett being there at 18 and him being a quarterback, can't pass that up, I don't think. So if Kenny Pickett and Malik, just like you said, they start following, man, saying if I'm calling teams saying what I gotta do to move up to secure quarterback in the future, let them sit, and then like perfect, like bruh. And it sounds weird to say, but like it wouldn't even be about this season, bro. It'd be about next season. Like if we being honest. But if both Willis and Kenny Pickett are gone, the thought of adding either Jamison Williams or Chris Olave, and I would 100% draft Jamison Williams, even with the ACL tear, if the medicals are good, over Chris Olave, because then your offense has become. In my offseason, I've added Gesicki. I've added AJ Cann or some guard. I added Al Woods to defense. I added James Washington. We took a flyer on Will Fuller. And then now on top of that, you're adding a Jamison Williams or a Chris Olave. Man, if James can't have any type of success with that, it ain't ever gonna happen. Not gonna happen. Yeah. So in one off season, we kind of with both of ours, and I'll be honest with you, the James Conner sign, it would be so good, so good. I didn't think about that because I was like, I don't think they'll go in that direction, but that would be great. But just the idea of and one swift off season, you could take a solid ball that's just been bludgeoned, just trash, and not the depth chart just changed. You got Gesicki, you got James Washington, you got a flyer on Will Fuller, and then you got your rookie wide receiver. And even if you draft Jamison Williams, you're gonna have to wait on him. He's not gonna play immediately. But if you got James Washington, you got Will Fuller taking a flyer on them, like they can, in theory, maybe hold the fort down a little bit till Jamison Williams is ready. And then you got Mike Thomas for however long you have him paired with Jamison Williams for whatever period of time.
Wait.
Come on, bruh.
Then you begging the market with quarterbacks trying to come play for you.
I'm saying, bruh. Just saying.
Russell like, man, look.
Ooh, damn, I know that ain't got Sean there, but pick out some players over there. I went through that, not really like I wasn't like, okay, they get to 30 million in cap space, and then I don't have time for that. Run the numbers, bro. Run them. Hit the button. Hit the button, bro.
Sell spreadsheet. Put some of them little macros in there, some of them little formulas. Do you think?
Oh, bro, I remember doing macros so much. Oh, fuck, I remember macros when I had to do like my Excel class and fucking junior. Man. But I mean, that's the off season. Obviously, I don't. That's my off season. I think you had a great off season. I think we're saying all this to say, I'm not saying it's easy, right? And this is all assuming that everything works in the Saints' favor, and the players that we mentioned that they want to sign with the Saints, or there's a lot of factors that are involved. But all we want to see as fans, if we just want to see, can we just see like this is a problem? Like we don't want to see this molasses ass offense that we've seen this season. or I mean, even Drew's last year, but we're tired of it, man. This offense needs juice. Give this offense some juice. Can it be a tight end? Can it be a receiver?
You play in a fucking league that's like telling you run offense. Like, we will let you run offense. Like, they're telling you the rules are set up for the offense to succeed. So it's like, take advantage of that, man. Like, build you a good offense. Look, I'm not stupid. We might not ever have like a number one offense again for a while. But just be good. Like, just be a good offense, man. Like, all we want to see. Like, we cut on the TV on Sunday, you want to see a team that we don't have to pray to score a touchdown. Just one touchdown. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to see that. You know what I'm saying? We want to see a team that can get down there and score touchdowns and get points and move the ball. That's all we want, man. So it's like, is that too much to ask? It can't be.
It can't be, man. You would think not. You would think not. So quick update on the combine. So I'm potentially going to the combine. You know, we should have like official word as of tomorrow if I'm going to go. So if I do get credentialed, my plan is to attend all the press conferences that coaches do, GMs do, where media gets to ask him questions, blah, blah. Listen, man, I've already got my feet wet at the Senior Bowl. I ain't scared to ask anybody any question, bro. Like, what I do in my job, in my career, if I have to ask a parent, you know, who tests positive for substance abuse, and I have to confront that with them, I'm not scared to ask like an NFL person a question, man. It's nothing to me. So if I do get credentialed and if I am able to attend the combine, hopefully, you know, I don't know if Mickey Loomis is going to speak. I don't know if Dennis Allen is going to speak. I hope so, because that's really the only reason I'm going. I won't be a complete bust if they don't show up, because I'll hang out with Greg, hang out with Mark, we'll cut up, have a good time, whatever. You know, I'm sure I'll have a good time. But I just got some questions for the Saints front office, bro. That's it. And I know you'll be celebrating. How old you turning? Like 42? I don't know.
Hold it.
You know, big 4-0. So I know you can't attend. You and Bree got plans, which I love it. But if I'm able to go, I'm going to go. I'm going to hold it down for Saints Twitter podcast. Hold it down for Saints Twitter. You know, just ask some questions that we've just had. You know, we've had on our minds the last couple of years. And then also, we're trying to get credentialed to go to the draft. But even if we don't get credentialed, you know, Ryan, Bree going, me and my girl going, we gonna go fancy. We'll go out to a fucking fancy dinner one night, and I'm ready to be heartbroken on Thursday night, bro. Because you know what? I'm gonna be in Vegas. I'm gonna be faded as shit off alcohol. It's gonna be for great content, bro.
Great
content.
Because they ain't drafting that player we mentioned.
Not a single one, nigga. You already know. If someone listens to this podcast, the Saints office, bro, every player we just mentioned on free agency and the draft, bro, they just cross them off the fucking list.
Cross them off the list. Ain't
they hit and rewind, say, oh, who else some niggas said they want him? I thought. But that said, the window for placing the franchise tag on players open today, I believe, and it's open from now until March 8th. We did our offseason real quickly, but I'll ask you this. Is there any way you can see the Saints using the tag again on Marcus?
Some people think that's what's going to happen. It'll be a first for the Saints. I don't think they've ever done that tag twice. They might have to.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
I just don't know. Like, it just seems like it's got to the point where the deal is hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, Mickey got his number. He set that number, and then he ain't moving, bro. Like, Mickey don't buzz from that number, bro. You know, and it's like, man, if they let him just go away, it's like, damn, what do you do then? Because they don't have another deep safety on the roster.
Nah, bro. Bring PJ back, bro. PJ and Malcolm Jenkins.
I mean, you saying that that might be the reality, bro. You know,
Just saying,
it
bro.
might be the reality.
PJ, Malcolm Jenkins, or if they let Malcolm Jenkins go and you got CD Deuce and PJ and Bradley Rowe, I don't know.
Bring PJ back, bring Marcus back, and just run a lot of too high. I wouldn't put PJ on the island like that much.
No,
I just run a lot of too high. Just keep like a 2 safety shell going and just try to play it safe.
Anyway, don't want those thoughts. But we started this episode, went long, people. I knew it was going to, just because of everything we need to cover. We had been on a hiatus, and then off season, man. It's off season. We got to talk our plans and go through everything we need to go through. So we did that for y'all. Kind of excited to hear your thoughts on Twitter, Instagram, for all people who give us love in our little community in Discord. When y'all listen to this, just give us your thoughts on this potential offseason if it does work out that way. I didn't mention it. You didn't mention it. I brought it up earlier on the pod. It's kind of like with the Jameson Williams situation of you kind of getting talent at a lower rate because of the injury. Bruh, there are 3 players that you got. You got Michael Gallup, you got Chris Godwin, and Odell, but he's not going to be ready. He's probably going to be out all of next season because of when he got the injury. But you got 2 wide receivers that you might, keyword is might, be able to get at such a low contract that you wouldn't thought of. I'm not saying that they will go that route or they should, but situations like this don't happen a lot, and especially for teams who are cap strapped or kind of close to the cap, like, I don't know, man. Like, it's smart. It's like I said, it's a chess move that a smart team will make. The Saints probably not in a position where they feel like they can do that, but just to see where those players go will be fascinating to me.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So anyway, all wrapped up. We'll be back this week at some point. If not, we'll be back next week. Hopefully I'll be at the combine. I'll have some tidbits, some actual, me asking questions to be integrated on the pod, or just my general thoughts about, things said during the combine, if that does happen during the pressers. But that, when we get out of here, thank you for taking the time to listen to this lengthy episode. And we'll be back. Take care of yourselves. We're out.
Peace.
What makes for a great vacation? Depends on who you ask. Are you looking to get away or bring everyone together? Do you want to get outside and play or see a play at the plate? Fortunately, however you operate, I'm the destination you've been looking for. The name's Missouri, but you can call me Mo. And I have just one question. What's your MO? Come see me at visitmo.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.